Hello, everyone. That's our time now to start our webinar, and we hope that more people can join us now as we start our YouTube stream. Quite exciting, and we hope you enjoy it. And yeah, probably you have some little break now with us with a cup of coffee or a lunch break. You're very welcome, and to come and join us now. And the recording will be also shared on this YouTube channel and USPUK media channel. So. Yeah, very, very happy to introduce Ella today as we're going to expect some more people to join and I'll be slowly starting. How are you, Ella?
Hey Tanya, I'm really good, thank you. Really good, really excited to speak to everyone today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so I've got to introduce myself. So I'm Tanya and I'm the team leader in USP UK and we're a charity basically supporting displaced Ukrainians and Afghans as they rebuild their lives here in the UK. And we're really glad to co-host this webinar today with you, Ella, with Beam, with this wonderful organization. And we will be talking today mostly about Beam's Rent Deposit Initiative, which is a very amazing program that helps refugees move to their privately rented homes and offer them a really practical, vital, important financial and practical advice and support. And yes, Ella will be today walking us through the initiative, how it works, and how is everyone basically within USPK communities and wider friends and families, anyone who's interested could benefit from this basically. Ella, thank you very much for being with us today. It is really great to have you here. And I actually received support from BIM myself last year. I came across the link online, and that's been an amazing thing that happened to me. Honestly, I was struggling with finding a opportunity to find out how the rental market in UK works, and
Hello,
even though
everyone.
um
Nice.
hi hi, we have some more people joining us. Great. Um, yeah, wondering what where this song come from. But yeah, obviously that was very crucial for me to receive that support just as individual, as a displaced person who came to the UK myself and just needed to basically move on from my host apartment. And when I actually realized that this support is available, that enabled me to rent privately, to get all the necessary advice, step by step consultation that you provided me about how this actually works. So obviously working in the charity helping other Ukrainians and Afghans, that was my sort of mission to deliver that message further and share this with everyone to make sure people can reach that too. So before I pass the floor to you, just a quick note on logistics. We're going to have this session for about 35 minutes, and we might not be able to see and answer all the questions which come to the chat, but we are very happy to have all the questions later to info@uspk.org, just as was mentioned in your registration forms. And obviously, you are very welcome to address to the Beam team, and they will be very happy to answer those. So yeah, over to you. Now I'm gonna enable you to share your slides.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Just a second. Yeah, I think I'm not sharing at the moment. Let me try to see.
I think it's still sharing you for a moment, Tanya.
Right. Okay, so yeah.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. Um, Perfect. Oh, couple
Okay.
of technical.
Yeah,
One sec.
that's fine. And we also expect so basically we work with Afghan teams as well, Afghan communities, and we expect Anil to join us to say hi and greet an Afghan part of our audience. And yeah, we'll talk to them later on. Yeah, over to you.
Wonderful. I hope everyone can see that screen okay. All good. Wonderful. Okay, fantastic. So, as Tanya says, my name is Ella, and it's really lovely to be speaking to you all today. As Tanya says, we met and came across each other as Tanya was participating in our Beam rent deposit scheme. And we're just trying to get the word out there at the moment to help as many people as possible through this scheme. So we thought, why not host a joint webinar with USP UK, both organisations working to support Ukrainians and Afghans and other refugees in the UK. So as a bit of a background to Beam, we support people right across the UK to find stable homes. We support different disadvantaged groups. So that includes refugees and people that have been displaced. And we do that through a mix of caseworker support, custom built technology. So we have lots of amazing kind of software engineers that work at Beam that can really develop some great kind of apps and technology for us that we can use to support people, and also financial support as well. So on this particular scheme, help with a rent deposit, and then sometimes some other financial help that is available for moving into a new home. And we started off in 2017. We launched our housing service in 2020, and we launched specific programs for refugees from 2022. So still quite a young organisation, but rapidly growing. And we've helped over 1,600 households since we launched our housing service in 2020. So we now have 1,600 homes for new people that we've managed to support people to move into, which we're really, really proud of. So as Tanya says, I am Ella. I am the delivery manager for the refugee rent program. So overseeing how we kind of work together to deliver this. And I've also been joined by my colleague Regina, who's just popped on. She is one of our amazing housing caseworkers for this scheme. So if you choose to refer yourself and have a chat and come on board to House Hunt with Beam, it will most likely be Regina or one of our colleagues that will be supporting you with that house hunting. And a little bit of a background on USP UK as well. Tanya, I don't know if you want to kind of give a little bit more background on your organisation.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. And hi, Regina. Great to have you too with us today. And basically, well, other people probably might know, those who are joining now the webinar, but obviously, yeah, we are trying to spread our audience and reach out to more communities over the UK. We are a relatively new charity. We've been established in 2022, just after the launch of Homes for Ukraine visa scheme, and we became a recognized provider together with other charities who are able to match officially and in a safe way and safe and supported way Ukrainians with their UK hosts, and really proud of that status that we still carry. And we now also help Afghan refugees with their integration, those who are in the UK under ERAS and ERAS scheme. And we have lots of helpful resources, webinars, info packs, which are available on our website in Ukrainian, Dari, and Pashto. As you can see, that is our small team. All of us are here. On the photo, we speak basically, yeah, our languages are community languages that we speak. We also share the information in these languages, and we can have a consultation, obviously, with community members in their own languages, which we're really proud of, and the fact that we all have lived experience of relocation in the UK and can feel what issues people have and how to address that in the best way. So then we started to partner with different local organizations all around UK, and we're delivering such as this one, different online and in-person support events, webinars for the communities. We also help with visa applications, such as Homes for Ukraine or Ukrainian permission extension. That is very much on the agenda now for Ukrainians who need to extend their visas in the UK. We help to unblock any delays. We help refusal decisions as well, and we connect people to legal support, but we do first initial screening consultations ourselves. We also still match Ukrainians with sponsors, and we try to help those that we matched already to be able to move on and become more independent. So that is why we decided to share this amazing opportunity for those who are thinking how I am able, how is it even possible for me to move on from sponsor accommodation, which can be pretty tricky for those who might not have enough time to save the money for deposit, or do not simply know how to navigate housing benefits and benefits at all. So that is why, yeah, we thought it's great to share this kind of information here today. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thanks, Tanya. Yeah, a really, really kind of amazing work that you and the team are doing. I think, yeah, it's and in such a short amount of time as well, as you say, to have had those kinds of impact and help so many people is really amazing. So just a little bit of what's coming up on today's webinar. As Tanya says, will probably be about 20 to 30 minutes, maybe with some time for questions at the end. And we just thought we'd give you a bit of an introduction to private renting in the UK. Some of you might be super familiar with the idea of private renting in the UK. For some people, you might be at the beginning of your journey of finding out more about it. But it can be a tricky sector to navigate, and there's a lot to think about when you're looking for private rented housing in the UK. So a bit of an introduction to that, and then also a bit about our refugee rent deposit scheme, a little bit more about the support that we can offer through that, and then an opportunity to refer yourself directly for help as well. So just so we're all on the same page and we know what we're talking about with private rented sector housing. So we're sometimes referring to it as PRS for short, just standing for private rented sector. So it's literally just when a private landlord, or sometimes a letting agent, an estate agent, rents a residential property for a tenant to live in. So different from any kind of, temporary accommodation, social housing. It is where someone is renting directly to you and privately. One thing about securing a property in the private rented sector is you will often need to pay a rental deposit and the first month's rent up front. And this can be really tricky to save for because that's a lot of money all in one go. With a deposit, that will be protected in a deposit scheme. So that will be kept safe for the end of the tenancy. And then if there are any damages to the property or rental arrears at the end of the tenancy, that's when your landlord will be able to dip into that pot of money for to sort that out. You can rent while receiving universal credit for housing costs. But sometimes not all landlords might accept tenants who are claiming benefits. So it can be really helpful to have that extra support when searching for properties to try and navigate that, know which landlords to talk to, and cast your net really wide in your search for properties. So that's something that Regina and our other housing caseworkers have loads of experience in helping people with. And if you're eligible for help with your housing costs, they will be paid up to the local housing allowance as part of your universal credit as well. So one of the things that we can help with at Beam at the beginning of your journey is kind of looking at any benefits that you might be entitled to. If you're not already receiving them, kind of help and advice on the best way to increase your budget to start looking for private rented sector housing. And everyone's situation is different as well. So that will be a kind of one-to-one conversation. And a bit about the benefits of privately renting as well. I think a lot of people think it's really, really difficult to get into your own private rented home, and it can be really tricky. But actually, with the right kind of support behind you, it can be a really, really good option. So you might have kind of heard of the housing register. Perhaps you're waiting for a home on the social housing register, which is definitely a great option for housing. But as you might have found out, waiting lists are really long, and it can take several years to be eligible for a property in the UK. Whereas looking for private rented sector accommodation, most people will find a property within 3 months when they're being supported by Beam, we find. So can be even quicker than that. Some people within just a week have found a property and are moving in, so definitely a much quicker option. Stability compared to temporary accommodation as well. So with private renting, most leases are for a minimum of 12 months. And most likely for much longer. So the average person stays in their private rented property in the UK for 4 years, and that includes people that kind of choose to leave at the end of that 4 years. So you know that you're getting, in most cases, a really kind of stable and a longer term option. And I think the final benefit of private renting is that it gives you lots of choice. So with private renting, you'll be able to really look at your options, choose where you live, view the property, make sure it's good for you and that you really like it before joining. Sometimes with social housing, you can have quite a limited choice, even if you are eligible, and you can only reject a certain number of options as well. So I think with private renting, it can really be the best option to really kind of get to shape kind of what your future home looks like as well. So moving on to kind of what is the refugee tenancy deposit scheme and how can we help with some of these kind of challenges and support you into private rented? Firstly, so the refugee tenancy deposit scheme is a pilot project to test a new model for allocating housing deposits to refugees entering the private rented sector. And it was put together by a group of different organisations, including the British Red Cross and also the Tenancy Deposit Scheme, who is one of 3 deposit schemes that are approved to operate in the UK. So roughly about a third of tenancy deposits across the country are held with the Tenancy Deposit Scheme. And how does Beam fit in? We're the delivery agency for the project. So throughout this project, we have been tasked to support at least 90 households into new homes through the programme. So we're working really closely with Red Cross, with TDS, with the other organisations that are involved. But we're leveraging our technology and our caseworker support to help support those 90 households into new properties. And who can be supported through this scheme? So anyone who has been displaced from their country, a refugee, anyone who has been displaced due to humanitarian crisis or conflict, refugee status, humanitarian protection. So anyone coming under that kind of umbrella will be eligible for help through this scheme. You must be experiencing some kind of homelessness or housing instability. So, for example, living in temporary accommodation, living in a hotel, living in a hostel, lots and lots of people who are living in with third-party sponsors, and they're looking to take that next step. They're ready to move out to live independently, and just kind of might want a little bit of extra guidance and financial support around that. You must be 18 plus and with the right to rent in the UK. And just to say as well that interpreters can be available for your meetings with Beam caseworkers. We'll really try our best to kind of meet you where you're at in terms of language requirements and make it as accessible as possible. But you will need to be able to attend property viewings independently or have someone who can attend with you and translate for you if you need. So yeah, just to kind of, that's the eligibility requirements for the scheme. So what does the support look like? So the first step is refer yourself, or you might be referred by a support organisation. But if you're on this webinar right now, then you'll have the opportunity to refer yourself at the end of this. We have a short online form. We'll ask you for some basic information about your situation and your contact details as well. And then we'll reach out to you within 5 working days of receiving your information. Usually it's much quicker than that, and you will get a text or a call from our friendly triage team. On this programme, it will most likely be our colleague Sophia who will be contacting you. And then we will move on to the onboarding step. So we'll then invite you to book in for an online meeting with a Beam caseworker to go through whether a PRS tenancy might be the right option for you. And as part of that, we'll go through all of your current circumstances, any barriers that you might have to moving into a new home. And most importantly, we'll have a really in-depth look at your budget and including those kind of benefit calculations to see what will be affordable for you. And if there's any way that we can increase that income as well to make private rented more affordable. And then, yeah, finally, if it is the right option for you, then you will be matched with a dedicated Beam house hunting caseworker who will help you with finding a suitable property. And we will kind of look at the locations that you'd like to live in. We'll have a look at what's kind of affordable and achievable, and really kind of listen to what you want out of your next home as well, and kind of see what might be possible within that. And to give you a bit more of an idea of what exactly that house hunting journey involves. So it can involve all sorts of things. So this is not an exhaustive list of what we might be able to support you with. And everyone is different. Some people might want more or less support. Some people might have a really good idea of what they're looking for, and it's just the financial support that you might be interested in. For some people, you might not be as confident with kind of navigating the UK system, UK websites, and you might want a little bit of extra support with that. So here are some of the things that we can help with. Firstly, searching for homes. Where do you find houses? Where do you find properties? There are lots of different websites out there, and it can be really confusing which platforms to use. How do you set search criteria? How do you make sure that the properties that you're finding are really suitable and the best properties? So we can help you with all of that. We can help you set up an account and kind of show you how to navigate those websites if you'd like help with that. Secondly, booking viewings. So help with messaging landlords, phoning agencies. We can provide some template messages that you might like to send out to landlords for properties that you're interested in. And we can also help with access to our network of landlord partners. So these are friendly landlords. They are landlords that we may have worked with before and helped place someone in one of their properties, or they might be people that have come to us through a networking event and said that they'd really like to kind of offer up their property for use by people using Beam. They might be kind of really open to renting to people that are on benefits or have had great experience with Beam tenants so far and be really, really, really kind of willing to offer more properties through to people renting through Beam. Then we've got viewing support. So what do you do at a viewing? Training on what to say, what are the things that you need to check and look out for, and then how you can follow up afterwards. You might even want a little bit of extra support with that. So sometimes we can speak to the landlord or the agent on your behalf, and do all of that for you and take some of that off you. Then we can help with the paperwork. You're getting to the point of being offered a tenancy, hopefully. The property is nearly yours, but filling in all of those application documents, checking that the property is safe, making sure that we've got all of the compliance documents and that the landlord is doing the right thing and it's going to be a really good and safe property for you to move into. And then perhaps the most important bit, financial help. So that big upfront cost of a rent deposit can be really, really, really tricky to get that access into private rented. And then there's all sorts of other costs that you might need help with as well moving in. So whether that's, sometimes the first month's rent in advance can be a big blocker for some people, or it might be moving vans, furniture costs. There's all sorts of other extra financial costs that are associated with moving into a new property. So we'll kind of look with you at what might be possible for us to fund alongside that rental deposit for what you need to get you into that property. And then, yeah, finally supporting you through that move-in process, making sure you're comfortable in that new home, checking back in, and then we'll continue to support you for 12 months after you've moved in. So we'll check in regularly, make sure you're okay. We're here if you've got any inbound issues with sustaining your tenancy. So, if there's any kind of issues with the property or the landlord, we can be on hand to support with that. We'll make sure that you've kind of got everything updated and ready to go in terms of your bills, your utilities, and yeah, updating any benefits when you move in as well. So you can feel like you're really set up to succeed in your new property and sustain that tenancy. Amazing. And yeah, this is just some of the feedback that we have received so far from people who have used the program. So we're still in our quite early days of kicking off. It's been really popular so far. We have met some amazing people through this scheme and we're just getting started. And these are some of the comments that have been submitted through our feedback form. So I hope that, yeah, this kind of shows that how positive this support has been. I think the theme that really comes through is people having been really proud to be involved in such an innovative scheme and being proud to be supported through the scheme. What we have found is that a lot of people have recommended us to their family and friends. And so we're starting to become even more popular through that word of mouth recommendation, which is really cool to see. And yeah, one of the people that we have worked with so far is Tanya, as we've said. Tanya, I don't know if you want to kind of share a little bit more about how you found the scheme to start with and then your experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just wanted to jump in, yeah, any second because I'm really like feel for what are you saying? It really yeah reflects on me because I've been yeah I can support all these people who who shared the comments about your work and even being a charity worker and someone who would kind of know what to expect and how your Homes to Ukraine works, etc. Even myself, I wasn't even feeling myself ready enough to just start and rent privately and know where I should go. There are lots of websites, there are lots of different, you know, thoughts and ideas from you hear from people about how hard it is and first thing you actually hear when you say oh I want to move from my sponsor is time for me and then people around just saying maybe you have to wait maybe it's not you know it's kind of like you're on some island and you need to like finally go out to the sea and you don't really feel you don't have a boat and then him just giving you this boat and equipping you with everything needed so then you can actually reach your independent, different kind of a life that you really want to have once you already like spent a couple of years with your sponsor and you've been supported by them greatly. But then it comes the time for you to move on, and especially because I had also my sister joining me, and we were at this very sort of difficult journey finding a school, and then just moving out in London. In London, it's very difficult also to see where are your chances. And first, you might not even believe that this is possible for you at all, because you might not really be sure about how housing benefit work and yeah, where you can find the money for deposit, basically. So these are very practical, which might feel as like something simple and common questions that people ask themselves, but that it's really important to know that there is help available. And I was hugely supported by Beam. I remember our first initial consultations when I was very emotional. I didn't know where to start from, but even with this first sort of guidance and advice and step-by-step plan how this can work, I realized that okay, I should then try and look out for properties. Maybe I'll find something useful. And one actually of the website that I was advised would help me to yeah to find a property, just one of the common ones, but still, if you know how to put your message well, how to shape it brightly, and then just don't stop looking out for the chances, don't stop looking, reaching to landlords, asking if that is possible for you to come and view the property, and you just keep going with little steps. So that is like literally the magic of little steps that Beam supports you with. And I'm so grateful for you guys for what you're doing. So I think, yeah, more people still there on where I've been, and they need to know that that there is this helping hand that is available for them. And just, yeah, shouting out to all of you. Thank you for your work. And I'm still being supported in terms of checking consultations, and um, I'm sure that if when it comes the time when I need to move out again or just wouldn't, yeah, maybe would have any questions, I know that there's a Beam team for me, and they can answer my inquiries, support me with the sources, and just, yeah, it's like a helping friend that is there for you, and you can always reach out. It's much better than ChatGPT, guys. It's like a live person that knows the sector, who knows how it is hard for a refugee, for a displaced person to actually navigate all these. And then, yeah, they just empower you, and you're then able to try. And then if you keep trying, then definitely there will be a chance for you.
That is so amazing to hear. Thank you so much, Tanya. And I love that better than ChatGPT. I think I'm going to put that on the next one of these webinars. And I love the yeah, the idea of kind of being on a boat that you mentioned, and kind of, or like being on an island and needing to kind of head out and find that next step, but like really needing to feel supported by kind of, yeah, your boat around you. So that's really, really nice to hear. And I'm so glad we were able to help you navigate the world of private rented housing in the UK. Um, so in terms of how you can get support yourself through this scheme, so as I say, we're now open to referrals. If you would like to have a chat with one of our caseworkers about whether this might be the right fit for you, how we can support you, we have our Google form, which you can scan this QR code on the screen now. It will take you straight there. We'll also share this link to the form around with everyone that signed up after the webinar. And feel free to share this with your family or friends that you think could benefit from this scheme. Yeah, we'll be contacting everyone within a few days, within 5 days of you sending through your details. So yeah, we're looking forward to meeting you. We're looking forward to hearing from you. And I don't know, I can't see the feed just now, Tanya, but do we have any questions if I need to take any questions?
Yeah, I think we can now answer one of those that have been asked to us many times. Well, that registration process, people for joining the webinar, because so there is a sign up form that you mentioned, and people can self-refer, or also USPUK can help if you just have any questions. We are happy to answer them in Ukrainian. If you need just any help with filling in the form and reaching you to be, we're happy to do that. But then some people were asking, just because there is a question on the form about where are you located, people would just been asking, is that in any way limited to certain regions or parts of the UK that where they can get this support, or is it just available all around the country?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. So we can accept referrals from anywhere across England and Wales. And because most of our support is online, you can be located anywhere in England and Wales. You don't need to be having in-person meetings or be in a certain location. Most of it will just be done over video call like this.
Perfect. And then we have another one in the chat here in Zoom that maybe you can see. So someone has already, that comes from Alex. Hi, Alex. He has already applied for discretionary house payment, I suppose, DHP, and can he still request a discrepancy house agreement if needed? That is quite a practical question, I guess, and
Yeah,
might not be
that's
linked.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's such a good question.
thank
And
you.
that's yeah, I think probably best in terms of like individual situations to be discussing with our caseworkers. That is exactly the kind of thing that we can have a chat about and support you with your individual situations. Discretionary housing payments can be a really useful tool. Regina is nodding. She has obviously helped and advised a lot of people around discretionary housing payments. So yeah, really, really happy to have that chat about your individual situation. If you want to pop your details in the form, we'll contact you.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll send that across to Alex. And then we have another question from Julia asking if you work in Yorkshire, because because if I am on my, can't see the whole part of the question. So yeah, any options for support in Yorkshire? Well, as
Yeah,
we, yeah,
absolutely. That would come under our England and Wales kind of category for this program. So yeah, if you're in Yorkshire, happy to support.
yeah, amazing. And then just to summarize in sort of post support steps. So that is available for people sort of one time during their being in the UK, and that is something that, yeah, I think everyone who is in need of this support should definitely go for. And that is sort of a chance to access this support is available sort of once per family, right? So one household can receive the deposit support once.
Yes, exactly. So
Right.
if you're a family, a household moving together, it just needs to be one person from your household that signs up via the form. And then in that first meeting, we will go through everyone in your household, what your budget might be. If there's like multiple people that have an income, we can go from there.
Amazing. Yeah, very great. That's great. I don't think if we have any other questions coming up. I think you've covered like literally a step-by-step scheme from beginning to till the end, like how it actually looks like. And as I said, yeah, the team is incredibly helpful. They're always there to reach out, and being such a speedy, like a startup, vibe. So when you have like this great, amazing level of customer support, when you can ask your questions and you receive a promptly response, and you'll be navigated to the right resource and be pointed to the right direction, which is, yeah, incredibly important when you are short of time and you don't have, you can't just maybe wait long for the response. So you want to, yeah, you're simply nervous about all the process, and then there are people who can say that's fine. We got it, we got you, everything's gonna be cool, and then you can just discuss all these questions during the initial
Yes, 100%.
consultation.
And just to say as well that when you sign up via this link, we'll reach out to you via text message and WhatsApp, and feel free to respond to those WhatsApp messages and text messages with any questions you have as well, even before that first meeting, before that first call, that will come through and one of our caseworkers will pick that up.
Amazing. Okay, great. And thank you so much for taking the time to come here today and share all these about, yeah, how Beam supports displaced Ukrainians and Afghans, and obviously other cohorts in the UK who need this help and access to private rent and advice on the benefits and the deposit scheme. Fantastic, really. It's for more than just advice, honestly. And thank you very much, Regina and Ella, to come to speak to us today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, if any questions, we will send it over to you. But obviously, everyone is very welcome to scan the QR code and sign up for the form to register interest and start your journey, hopefully to your first home in the UK. And you're gonna have the same photo as we've seen a little bit earlier with your keys. And I remember my photo after I've been supported by Beam. It was very emotional, and yeah, just as a dream come true, really. So thank you so much for what you're doing, everything your effort you put in it, and been great to talk to you.
Thank you so much. So good to talk to you, Tanya. And yeah, looking forward to meeting everyone.
Yeah, yeah, we look forward, yeah, overwhelming your inbox.
Keep them coming. We're ready.
Perfect. Thank you very much. See you
Much.
soon. Bye.
Bye.